it is, everybody? Thanks for tuning back in here to the Speedbug channel. Today, just got a quick update video for everybody out there. I really appreciate all the love that you guys are showing on the 2 or 3 Ducati videos that I've actually already posted up. I can't remember, but whatever. By this time, it might be 3. I really appreciate all the love that you guys are showing, and I see that you guys really are taking a like to this bike, and I'm definitely glad to keep making content here for you. But I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the bike. Damn, just look at her. Just look at her. She is so pretty. Hold on. She ain't got the lights on now, but let me go on ahead. Let me go ahead and turn that on right quick. God, that's just my favorite part of the whole vehicle. I just love that thing. So, wanted to give you guys a quick update on the video after the ride down here to South Beach, and just putting around town, sitting in some traffic, and give you guys my absolute honest review of what I think about it, where it is. Do I plan on keeping it? Do I plan on selling it? You know, so on and so forth. Because it's got a lot to live up to. It's got a lot to live up to this thing. You know, the BMW, the S1000RR, you know, it's pretty much my race bike, but I still sometimes drive it on the street. But this thing is, you know, this thing pulls like a freight train. So, but that's not exactly why I bought this thing. And so now that it's got some miles on it, so let me tell you. Right now we got a little over 100 miles on it, and I really, really like it so far. It's an entirely different animal than the BMW. I don't want to say necessarily good, but I don't want to necessarily say bad either. It has its ups and downs, it has its perks, so I definitely want to, you know, elaborate on some of those things, on what I think the Beamer does better and what I think that the Ducati does better, you know. As far as, you know, as looks, let's just get that shit out of the way, because everybody wants to say that, you know. Yes, we all know the Ducati is sexier. Yes, we can all say it's a little bit prettier, looks a little bit better, so on and so forth. You know, the BMW kind of gets the rap of the Forrest Whitaker bike, you know, because of the eye, so on and so forth. Forrest Whitaker, if you're watching this thing, I hope you don't take offense to it, but I doubt you're watching my videos. So the styling of the Ducati is definitely a little bit more elegant, you know, where the BMW is significantly more aggressive. Not just because of the things that I've done to it, it's just a little bit more aggressive a bike. So the two major differences, you know, yes, they are both 4 cylinders. One is a V4, that one is an inline 4. But let's get back here to the Ducati. So the first 100-mile impression, and going around some turns and playing with all the modes and stuff like that, you know, the bike both have quick shift, they both have wheelie control. The lean angles and stuff on the BMW and how it auto corrects you in the turn with the traction control, I think is significantly better here on the BMW. But what the Ducati has allows you to go into the turns by the skid control and the drift control, which that bike really does not have, is significantly better here as well on the Ducati. So when you're in the turn, you know, I think that the Beamer, you know, sucks you down to the seat a little bit better and feels a little bit more stable when you're in the turn. But going into the turn and coming out of the turn, I think the Ducati is hands down better. So there's 3 parts to the turn: going in, during, and exiting. Now the Ducati, you also have to keep in mind, is also 3 years newer than the BMW. So I bought the BMW brand new when it came out, when that new chassis, new frame generation came out, Gen 2. And let me tell you, it was a hell of a bike. There was nothing on the market that can touch it, and there's damn near almost nothing on the market that can touch it today. And everyone kind of this, because I trade vehicles a lot, you know. Hey, Rob, when's the next time you're going to get, you know, the next new bike, this, that, whatever. Well, when they make something better. And I've always been a, you know, Suzuki guy, you know, diehard GSXR guy, you know. I had 4 of them. So I had some Hayabusas, you know, 3 GSXR 1000s. 600, 750 motor swap, so I know all about it. You know, I've ridden the R1s and the new one and stuff like that, but they just didn't compare, especially nothing near to the BMW. So when this bike dropped, you know, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, yeah, I'll sell this when somebody makes something better. And for a few years, in my opinion, you know, my humble opinion, I don't think anyone has. And then the Ducati came out with the V4. The 1299 Panigale, you know, that was a dope bike. You know, it looked really cool. It looks very similar to this, and that's why I love the styling of it. But with that big V twin and that exhaust exiting right below your seat, man, did I'm telling you, it made you never wanting to ride it. It was because it was just so hot after like 15 minutes. So I don't know how any of the MotoGP guys actually really were able to ride that bike, but man, props to them because their ass must have been on fire. But riding the Ducati, the bike comes with, you know, the Super Corsa R's, super soft compound tire, and you can definitely tell when you really start to bite into it, you can really see it get eaten up by the street. You really can't see it on this one, but when I was doing some high speed runs on the other ones, you could really see it. But I don't want to really eat all these up that fast because I want these to last, and these tires aren't cheap. So, but riding around on the street, you know, I think this bike, and that's kind of what I really got it for, and that's why I didn't get the S model with the electronic suspension, because I got the all tricked out version there on my BMW, and I can adjust all the suspension and do all that for the racetrack, because I spend a lot of time on the racetrack with the BMW. So driving on the street, you know, the Showa suspension, you know, will be able to allow me to adjust the compression and the rebound, and with all the other electronics that come within, like the skid control, the wheelie control, the dynamic traction control, you know, all these other things, is going to be more than plenty enough for the street, which is where this bike is going to see probably about 99% of its life. Will I take it to the racetrack 1 or 2 times? Oh, absolutely. You know, we're going to take this thing to the quarter mile. We're going to put it around a circuit track, you know, see what it's going to do. Absolutely. Am I expecting it to really beat the BMW? Absolutely not. The BMW also makes significantly more horsepower than this thing. Not necessarily on paper, but proven horsepower and so on and so forth. I've watched many dyno videos of this thing. This thing puts down about the 180 range, and we've already seen the BMW in previous videos put well down over 200. And also stay tuned for some other stuff coming up to that, because that one's getting a new brain and a new computer again. So that should be interesting. But I'm not building this to be a drag bike or anything like that yet, hence the single-sided swing arm. You know, I bought this bike primarily for its styling. I love it. I've always wanted a Ducati, and now I can say I officially own one. So like I said in all my other videos, I'm super blessed, super happy to be able to share this and be able to afford this and make these videos for all of you. And we're going to keep making it, and we're going to keep going. As far as some of the other things, let's touch on some of the other things that I'm sure that you guys want to hear about. The bike does actually come with a set of, I don't know, this whole apparatus back here, this tail section. It's actually up here where it all comes in a bunch of wrapping for your tail section. Here's your second seat, here's, you know, part of your tools, and here's your other pieces of your fairing. So the bike actually does come with a second seat. As far as riding the bike, the seat here, it's like a nice suede material. It's very nice. I don't know how that's going to do once it gets wet. Hopefully it doesn't get wet, but it's going to happen one day, but it is what it is. The tank is extremely, it seems to be long, but you're not so far down. You sit much further down in the BMW, but you also sit, you're more raised up on this bike, but you have to reach out a little bit longer. So it's a different type of feeling that you have to hold up with your shoulders and chest on this bike. As far as the clutch and the brake, then the slipper clutch in this thing is awesome. The quick shifter, whether you're going 5 miles an hour or 150 miles an hour, this thing is awesome. Using the quick shifter, riding around town, you know, at slower speeds, I will definitely say I think the Ducati quick shifter is significantly better than the S1000RR shifter. Now, racing and having it in the high RPMs, I haven't had this one up there yet because it's still within that break-in period. But the quick shifter on the S1000 when you're racing, it's best one I've ever ridden, and I rode it on the R1, and it was not even a comparison. So, clutch, and if I did a touch on this, but if I didn't, the clutch on this thing, it's very slippy and very grippy at the same time. So it is a slipper clutch, and it tends to grip, you know, right at the end. I know you can make adjustments to it, but it is very grabby. I like that Ducati finally went with the wet system clutch rather than the dry system clutch, and it just makes all the world of a difference. And obviously with the quick shifter and all that, you're going to need those types of things to keep the plates and everything else cool. As far as the comfort and sitting and riding, I've switched, you know, the BMW has dual compound tires. I got rid of the single compounds because I used to ride that bike a lot on the street. This one still has single compounds because it's got the Super Corsa R's where they're super sticky. You could definitely tell a difference from the tires that come with this thing. they heat up in, it feels like in 2 minutes, you know. With the BMW, it takes a little bit longer, those Dunlops, but they're not bad. But the hell, instead of them wearing out in 2,000 miles because of the way I ride, now I can get like 4,000 or 5,000 out of them, you know. And when you're blowing $300-400 a tire, that shit tends to add up pretty quick. So as far as that goes, I like it. But I could see how fast these tires are going to be eaten up, and we probably will switch to a dual compound tire once I ride this on the street a little bit more. Now, the number one question I always get asked about this bike is, how is the heat compared to the other ones? And let me tell you, it is night and day difference between the 1299. It does not, now if you guys think it's gonna be cool, it's not gonna be cool like the Grom, or it's not gonna be cool like riding a Harley or anything like that. No, your legs and your ass is still cooking no matter what. This is the exhaust coming out from the right bank of the engine, and it comes out and goes down and then goes down here into the muffler. So yes, it is still hot, but it is not scorching hot when you're sitting in traffic to the point where you're like, oh my God, I gotta get off. And you're doing the dance because, you know, you can't even sit on this damn thing. No, it's not like that, but it is hot. And don't get me wrong, the BMW can get just as hot as well. The frame and, you know, some other aspects of that bike as well. The brakes on this thing, I mean, what's to say? You know, they're, you know, monoblock, you know, calipers designed by Brembo, excuse me. No complaints in that department whatsoever. They stop on a dime, they'll give you 9 cents back. Back brake on this thing, perfect as well. Chain and sprocket, you know, does it need to be geared? Does it need any of that? Does it need a bigger sprocket, a smaller sprocket? Honestly, I think the gearing is just right, you know, just for now, you know. Maybe if I put this thing on the racetrack a lot, you know, I may say differently, but I think overall for the street and everything, this bike makes 214 horsepower and almost 100 foot-pounds of torque. It really doesn't need it. I mean, this thing will wheelie in third gear, you know, on power, no problem. I had to be 100% honest, I haven't even clutch wheelied this thing because it doesn't need it. So anything else that's going to, you know, allow you to, you know, you put a bigger sprocket on this thing, it's just going to be nothing but wheelie happy. And it's, I can see it already has a hard time keeping the front wheel down as it is. Let me jump on here over to the electronics. And as you run through all the modes here, I mean, we could turn it on. I could show you guys. As you jump through all the modes here, the street, the track, you know, so on and so forth, there's just an endless amount of customizations that you could really do, you know, with this and tune it to how you want to ride it. So if you want, in my opinion, it wasn't worth the extra $4,000 to get the electric suspension if you're not going to track the bike. If you're going to track the bike, by all means, get it, because this is what this thing is. It's a track beast, ready bitch, ready to go for the racetrack. But if you're not going to track it and it's going to spend most of its time on the street, I really think you could save that money, put it down to the down payment, take $4 grand off of it. That's that much less you didn't have to pay, so on and so forth. Make your payment go down. Buy your girlfriend something nice, you know, do whatever it is, and you just got 4 G's back in your pocket. But the way the bike comes out of the box, I mean, I can't complain. So we're going to continue to vlog about this thing and see exactly, you know, what else we like and what else we don't like about it. I haven't put the rear tail section on for the second seat yet. Well, I will do that when I'm ready to actually take somebody on the back of it. But right now, I'm just kind of enjoying it a lot myself. So, but we'll get to that and we'll get to another vlog. But that's the first 100 miles. It's got a lot to live up to the BMW. You know, like I said, there's a lot of things I like about it. There's a few things I dislike about it, and the same thing goes for that. You know, it's hard to make the perfect bike because if you do something good in one category, you're going to lack in another because that's just what it does. So, again, I hope you guys like what you saw. Stay tuned for some further episodes and updates. You know, the 500, the 1,000 mile, you know, especially after the break-in period when we take this thing to Mexico. We're going to open her up, see what she can do. And we'll create some more vlogs with the V4 here on the Speedbug channel. Deuces, y'all.